in Ghana. Let's hear your take, okay? Let's hear your take. It's either I'm missing something here, or our leaders are just not worth it, to be honest with you. Not worth it. Let's hear your take. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we continue. If anything, it just goes to prove once again how the so called leaders have failed us and continue to fail us. The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, Jones Ewa, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikadiya Basa. It's not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with Jones Ewa.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio. Hello and welcome back to GN Radio, the Breakfast Show with myself, Jones Ewa. I've just had a text message saying that, Jones, why do you sound so deflated? Well, I am a bit deflated simply because, look, we're here, some of us a lot of us, and our listeners as well here in the West, understand how things are run, and I remember when the president was talking about Ghana beyond aid. I mean, that sent waves across the entire globe because people are just waiting for our leaders to be able to stand up with their chest up and speak. But what this particular case shows me, okay, and if you're wondering, if you just tune in and you're wondering what particular case, is a young woman, a Chinese woman who goes by the name of Aisha Huang. And if you remember, in 2017, she was known as a mining kingpin in Ghana. She also brought in immigrants from China who were working in Ghana. When she was arrested, the amount of ammunition that was seized by the police was unbelievable. Or a lot of us thought that she was deported from the country, even though some of us believe that the laws should have worked and she should have been put behind bars. She should have served time in Ghana prisons, and then after serving her time, then get deported back to China. But we were told that she had been deported, okay, by the then senior minister, Nanaya Osafo-Maafo, who justified the decision of her not facing jail term, but rather being deported as, due to Ghana's relationship with China. China is the country that's actually leading the development in Ghana, and there are things happening behind the scenes. So her being put to jail, being sent to jail, would not achieve much. And to be honest with you, I'm actually flabbergasted because let me get this article. So 3 years ago, all right, the president himself, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, said the government's decision to deport Chinese national Aisha Huang after her reported involvement in illegal mining was a mistake. And I quote the president. Let me quote the president. So in case you're wondering, this report article was published by City News. So according to the City News, the president Nana Addo said on this particular case, right, I think the decision to deport Aisha Huang in hindsight was a mistake, and that is why that process and procedure is being stopped, end quote. He said that at a forum at Princeton University during his visit at the United States. So here we are. So this was 3 years ago, and then the then senior minister, Safamafo, also said that her being deported was the right thing simply because, based on Ghana's relationship with China. And as such, rather than having her, putting her in jail wouldn't achieve much because at the end of the day, it is China that is constructing, the infrastructure or building the infrastructure in the country. And again, as I've already alluded to, that argument is plausible. If only what the Chinese are doing in Ghana was free. I mean, it's honestly, you could maybe understand that, but nothing is free. And how in 2021, anybody, more or less another national, can come to your country, dig up your ground illegally, gold mining, okay? Notoriously known for her illegal activities in Ghana. She's a Chinese woman. And then she employs Chinese immigrants. She brings in Chinese immigrants to work for her. And then when she's arrested, the police finds huge amount of ammunition. And then we were told she had been deported. Then all of a sudden, she reappears at a high court in Accra. And she has been rearrested by the police. Well. It's unbelievable. Keep your thoughts and comments coming in, all right? And I will read them out. You can also call in 0203 735 8820 or 0778 793 9958. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can also do the same. Leave your comments and I will read them out. But for now, let's head over from West Africa to East Africa. I'm sure if you've been following this particular program, we've been following this. I'm talking about the election 2022 of Kenya. Which the opposition party petitioned the Supreme Court. Yesterday, we had, as we played at the top of the hour, a decision by the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court confirms William Ruto's victory against Raila Odinga. Kenya's Supreme Court has ruled that William Ruto was properly elected president, dismissing several petitions seeking to annul the results of the 9th August elections. And joining us to talk about this is Julius Baluto, a good friend of mine and also a broadcaster and a journalist. Julius, good morning.
Morning.
Well, we've had yesterday was the D-Day for Great Britain and also for Kenya. The Supreme Courts have made their decision. They've announced and upheld the 2022 election results. What is the mood now? How are people feeling? Are people, of course, opposition would definitely be, for them, would be a bit gloomy this morning. But for William Ruto's camp, it's celebrations all along.
Indeed, and you forgot another character in this drama. Chepkat himself,
yes,
the electoral commissioner.
The electoral commissioner, he has been vindicated, right?
He was the first one to shout, "I've been vindicated." But Ruto's camp, of course, supporters of William Ruto, they are so happy. They're like, yeah, finally, here we are preparing to be in government and preparing to see the hustler ideology, how far it's going to go, whether it's going to be real or it will just with time be proven to be one of the hot narratives that politicians pick up to drive their campaign. So we have that, but also the camp of Raila Odinga, extremely people are disappointed. I got lots of people responding different ways. You check on social media, people, posting on their Facebook pages, talking about, we have been cheated again and I'll never fought again. And therefore, it speaks volume. And when you look into the hierarchy at the top level, of course, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga the most powerful candidate who competed with Ruto. He was very full of humility. He says, yeah, I accept the court ruling, but I vehemently reject the verdict. So, and that's a feeling from top of the Azimio hierarchy going all the way down. They do not accept the verdict, but as Kenya embraces the rule of law, the last word comes from the Supreme Court and is final. And that is what they are saying. We accept their ruling, but we vehemently reject the verdict.
Okay, on that,
and they have their reasons as well.
All right, on that, Julius, I just want to, just for our listeners, to listen to what the legal representatives of Raila Odinga had to say just outside the court.
I want to say without a fear of contradiction that we do not agree with the decision of the Supreme Court. Like Al Gore, I will say we accept the decision, but we do not agree with it. And I'm saying this as a seasoned practitioner that courts sometimes make mistakes which are to be corrected over time. Courts make political decisions. As you know, in the United States of America, there has been a long-standing case that has been held as universal truth of jurisprudence involving women's rights, Roe versus Wade. It took them 50 years to overturn that case because of a Republican Congress and a Republican president and a Supreme Court that was basically appointed by Republicans. And therefore, I want to say, yes, in accordance with the law, we got to accept this decision as the law of the land. But I think it is a very ideological decision. I think there are a lot of what was said in the judgment, and we'll have time when that judgment comes out to put out a critique. But all it means is that in our jurisprudence, the petitioners will always have a big burden to carry when you have an electoral commission which is not open and transparent. The best way for this court to have made a decision was with the servers to be fully opened and all the election materials be placed before the court.
Right, so that was the legal representative for Raila Odinga. Julius, well, yes, of course. They have every right to disagree with what the verdicts of the court. But I think in Kenya's case, due to the fact that this is not new, there's been in the past where the courts have nullified the elections and Kenyans have gone back to the polls. So that precedence is already there. It would have been very difficult if that wasn't the case, because of course the doubts will always be there. If Kenya hasn't had a situation where the Supreme Court have said, hey, yes, this irregularities was of such magnitude that it had an impact on the election results. So go back and rerun the election or vote again or whatever the situation is. That has already happened. Of course, the ones that the votes always goes against will come out and dispute the judgment of the Supreme Court. But by looking at what happened, Julius, do you think, just listen to the legal representative there, that the manner in which the Supreme Court dealt with this, was enough to be able to say, listen, we will upheld the election results?
I only focus on what has come out of the Supreme Court, the talks, the discussions, the challenges. the affidavits read and everything that was happening there, there are issues there, because when you talk about the feelings from Raila Odinga supporters, you find a situation whereby, number one, we have electoral commission that whose server to conduct Kenya's election are controlled from outside the country. In 2017, they were in France when, during the Supreme Court hearing the petition, demands were made for them to be opened to check what happened in them. IEBC said people were sleeping in France. It was too early. And they never opened the servers, as in terms of that particular moment during the proceedings. And no one knows exactly, there is no information that has come out of the servers to know that that was the case. In this particular case also, the servers' demand was made by the Azimio's candidate or presidential candidate. Open up the servers. We just want to see exactly what went on. But IEBC, again, with the company that they contracted to do this, talking about copyright infringement and saying we cannot open the servers because they say smart doc, whatever they call them, this particular company, saying that if they do that, it's going to affect the other countries if it does help to conduct elections. But Jonas, you see, Africa needs to wake up. Africa needs to wake up. These are things of national interest. An election is such a sensitive process. Why on earth do we have to have servers controlled away from the continent? Don't we have experts in these countries? If Kenya alone has expert in IT, techno-savvy giants across the globe, why on earth do we have some foreigners who travel with expired passports having to control an election in Kenya? You see, and next thing, we can't open the server. No. Accountability, transparency, demands. You have that know-how. You have the way forward. I will never imagine US election be conducted with some technologies from overseas. Don't you remember US during Trump?
Yeah.
When they were accusing Russia of having affected the presidential results through cyber methods. Don't you remember that?
Brexit. Yeah.
Don't you remember even the Facebook being accused of interfering with elections in many different countries and all that, and it became a big issue? It's because of one thing. An election is the will of the people of that country. It's sovereign will of those people. And being sovereign will, that has got to be protected. And you also have to protect the national interest. If we have countries in the West who support regime change, doesn't that tell you how much they want to control your electoral process? To install stooges for them to work with them in the name of allies? You see, there's a lot of dimensions we have to look at this. So I think Kenya needs to wake up. Chepkati needs to wake up. He is given billions of shillings to do a proper thing. Look inward. Look in Kenya. Let servers be controlled within Kenya. Even this ballot printing, being printed overseas, for me, it doesn't make sense. Print your ballots. Do your elections locally, internally. That's one of the things that I find a lot of people are so angry about because of these interferences from these Venezuelans having access to, but the court comes and says, "Oh, that doesn't matter."
Yeah, and this is what
throw away the petition.
This is what I was about to come to, Julius, because in the court's reading, the final judgment, the court did acknowledge that there were irregularities, however, not on a big scale to influence the outcome of the elections. And for me, even though that in itself, for me, Julius, is an issue, because this is some of the things that the petitioners were talking about. And I think in this instance, the electoral commissioner had to be cross-examined. I was really disappointed at the fact that he was not cross-examined, and we didn't hear from the deputy chairwoman of the Electoral Commission. So it's frustrating in as much as we've commended Kenya for being transparent in the broadcast of the election petition. I also wonder, Julius, our learned friends, how much of a moral judgment goes into this as well. Because in as much as everything has to be by the law, we cannot overlook at the simple fact that that they have responsibility and moral responsibility as well. Because elections are very expensive. People's emotions are into it, and who knows? There's got to be an element of moral judgment when it comes to dealing with these type of petitions, especially election petitions.
Our constitution in Kenya, chapter 6, is very well known and very famous. It talks about ethics and integrity. And when you talk about what transpired in court, again, I'm focusing my attention in court because that's what happened there.
Yeah.
When we focus on what happened in court, on one hand, we hear the acknowledgement from IEBC that there were errors. We hear acknowledgement that the transmission stopped. And if they stopped, if is the particular moment these 4 commissioners realize without this working, we can't know for sure who won. And you want to hear narrative. We also had narrative in court blaming them like, why did you wait too long? Excuse me, how long should you wait if things were working fine? They were working fine. But the particular time they stopped working, they have the moral right to tell the country, hey, from what we can see right now, things have stopped working. They still have that right. But it seems like that never meant anything to the court process.
Yeah.
It seems they are focused on the narrative of IEBC, narrative of supporters of Ruto, representation of Ruto, arguing that it's cheeky. They are cheeky, like they waited until last minute. Why last minute? It doesn't matter. If something has been going right and it ceases this minute, and I have the moral authority, responsibility for the country, I'll tell you, from where we are right now, from where I stand, I don't know the way forward. I remember Jonas in 2007, the electoral commissioner faced frustrations. Returning officers turned off their phones, others disappeared. And at that moment, when you are telling him announce a winner, he came in a very honest manner and said, I don't know who has won.
Yeah.
Why don't you crucify him for saying that? Because he didn't, without the tallied votes, without the material to use to announce, to make judgment. How can he say, I don't know who has won? The only problem is that after saying those words over an IPC, him overseeing swearing in the dark. Politics can be tough, man.
Yeah. I mean, so Ruto will be sworn in as the president. For Raila Odinga, what next do you think for Raila Odinga? I mean, this is the 5th time he has contested to become the president of Kenya.
I think after 5 years, he may not be eligible to fight.
Okay.
But Raila is magnanimous in character, statement, and sometimes it's not about him as a person. He went to detention to fighting for freedoms of all Kenyans. He took the pain. Did you know that his mother died while he was in detention, and the prison system could not allow him to go and bury his own mom? The man has gone through a lot of pain and sacrifices. And probably then, I think when he looks around, he may say, most of what I fought, I've advanced. Things are not where they used to be. I've done my duty. I've served my time. And he may decide just to retire peacefully. I don't see him in the future causing any political havoc and all that. He's a peaceful man. And you see, one of the most thing, I want to give credit to William Ruto, President-elect. I want to give credit to Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister, is the idea that they have shown leadership. They managed to, even before the announcing of the Supreme Court ruling, tell their supporters, hey, keep your peace. Let us be a peaceful nation. We have not called for any demonstration, anything. Just stay at home, be peaceful. That message has made a difference. So whatever good thing I think we can celebrate from the Kenyan proceedings, I celebrate a few things. I celebrate that the idea that these court proceedings can be broadcasted across the country live and available to the rest of the world to see where we are. And this all goes peaceful, which is amazing. And also with people trying to challenge each other from the point of reason. And you see them trying to, of course, not to be so emotional, but in the end, that evidence is checked again. And of course, the Supreme Court will come and make a decision. But reaction after that, accepting the Supreme Court ruling, is another thing. I give credits to Raila Odinga and his team. I give credit also to William Ruto. And I hope if it was Ruto who lost, his supporters will be peaceful. I hope so. I don't know. The same way, Azimio's supporters are peaceful. So I think as a country, when you look into the transition, when there's crisis, Kenya set an example. I read in the paper yesterday that US should learn from Kenya how transitions
absolutely
should happen during crisis.
Yes.
So that's amazing. And also I give credit to Kenyans for keeping peace and also being politically mature to know we don't have to fight over political leaders. Is there battles? They drink tea together and they make us fight? No, there's no point for that. So I give credit to Kenyans for that.
All right.
But whatever happened, the upholding and the reasons given, they upset Azimio's camp and also made happy Rutos. In politics, we will always have that. Those who are happy, those who are upset, of course, but there's always a next time.
Absolutely. Julius, again, pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
So that was Julius Valuto. Julius is a journalist, a broadcaster, and a friend of mine. He also has his show on Colorful Radio. So make sure you check him out. It's on every weekend, Saturdays. Okay, so make sure you check him out. Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Make sure you do check him out. So there you have it. William Ruto has been, the court has confirmed that he's the next president. He's the fifth president of Kenya. The election results have been upheld by the Supreme Court of Kenya. And as Julius was saying, even though the Supreme Court did acknowledge the fact that there were some irregularities, however, not substantive enough to have any significant impact on the outcome of the 2022 elections. So there you have it. Okay, so do send your text messages coming in. Let's read a few of them. You can also call in 0778 793 9958 or 0203 286 0185. Alternatively, you can call 0203 735 8820. All right, let me read some of the text messages. On the issue of the Chinese national, Aisha. This is a text message from Francis. Francis is saying, "Why is this allowed? Why is this allowed to happen? Can a Ghanaian or any other person from sub-Saharan Africa do this in China?" I think no is the answer. So it begs the question: why is she getting away with it in Ghana? With emojis of really, really angry faces. So that's from Francis. Well, I agree. I don't think any Ghanaian or whatsoever or not Ghanaian can go to China and get involved in criminal activities, you will be, I don't think you see the light of day in China. But one thing that's important in this discussion is, of course, listen, there is a bad reputation about China, no doubt, globally. Okay, um, you know, I'm stating the obvious here. However, the Chinese ambassador to Ghana, I think this was probably a few years ago, about 3 years ago, said something which I thought was very profound and made, he made a good point. He said, listen, Ghanaians are complaining about the fact that Chinese are coming to Ghana and are involved in illegal mining. But one question that we need to ask ourselves is this. The Chinese man who just landed at Kotoka International Airport doesn't know where to go and start mining. Clearly, it is the locals who are aiding the Chinese people who are involved in illegal mining. So I like the way the Chinese ambassador was thinking. He literally just threw the ball back to us and said, no, actually, hold the mirror up and look at yourself in the mirror. You are the problem, not the foreigner. So in this case, for this woman to be arrested, notoriously known for her illegal activities, and the fact that she also employed illegal immigrants, Chinese illegal immigrants, working for her in Ghana. And then you have a minister come to tell us, hey, by the way, listen, there's no point of us being upset. How does this put any money in your pockets? He didn't say that, but that was what he was alluding to. We need to be mindful of how we treat such a person simply because it is China that is constructing all the development in our country. But the thing is, whatever China is doing or the Chinese are doing, Chinese companies are doing in Ghana, it's not for free. It's not for free. It's not for free. I mean, how will or can an individual, a minister at that, a very senior minister, even contemplate of trying to sell this to us? And this goes to show how politicians have taken Ghanaians for granted over the years, and they continue to do so. So the fact that you don't want to rock the boat with China, this criminal, she's a criminal. Let her go. Let the criminal go. Listen, if you guys are sick and tired, okay, of running the country, just hold your hands up and say, listen, by the way, we've done all we can do. We've exhausted all our ideas, and we can't run the country anymore. I mean, look, there's no harm in acknowledging the fact that you're incompetent. There's no harm in doing that. But to suggest to us that there's no point in talking about this because it is the Chinese people that are doing these things behind closed doors. Chinese people are not doing these things for free. They are not. No company is in business to make a loss. They are not doing this for free. So that excuse, I'm sorry, is nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. So one criminal, a criminal. For those who have not seen when she was arrested, okay, I encourage you to go online and to look up the ammunitions confiscated by the police when this woman was arrested. Just one foreigner, a Chinese national, were unable to deal with to. So what's the point of coming to say, we abide by the rule of we're governed by the rule of law? What's the point? Or is the rule of law only applied to certain people? And this is not even a case where she was even trying to um, the Chinese authorities, not that we know, unless the minister at that time knew something, that the Chinese government got involved. And even so, what if the Chinese government got involved? Having a good relationship with another country does not excuse you from prosecuting the national from the countries, somebody from that particular country. I wonder what would have happened a few months ago. I think this was probably last year or 2020 during the COVID time, when Nigerians in China were not allowed to go into, or it's either they were not allowed to go to restaurant, or they were literally pulled out of their room. The way they were being mistreated by the Chinese people. No, I'm not saying this is tit for tat. I'm not saying that. And actually, let me scrap that, because that you can't even compare that to the situation we have in Ghana, because they didn't do anything. They hadn't committed any crime. But the point I'm trying to make here is that even in China, if they perceive you to have committed a crime, look at how they treat you, and let alone you commit a crime in another country, and then they there to protect you. How does this make sense? Um, let's take some of your text messages that have come in. This is from James. James is saying, "This is unbelievable, Jones. This is unbelievable. When we were told that this woman had been deported, a lot of us were really, really upset. But at the end, we thought, okay, good riddance. But now, this is not what happened. So again, politicians know how to conceal the truth and just lie to us as Ghanaians. Okay, we're watching. 2024 is coming." I said this yesterday that sometimes you try your hardest. Okay, we do our best to tell our stories, to change the narrative. The narrative being not that we're here to make things up. Okay, we're not. That's not our agenda at all. We leave that to other outlets. Okay, but to bring you the truth. Okay, and to also really criticize the governments when needed to, and applaud the government when needed to, and to also bring you both sides of the story. But here we are. This is not one of them situations where you can just sit idle and just sit down and just, hey, by the way, this is what's happened, guys. What do you think? It's not a matter of what do you think. This is wrong on all levels. This is wrong. So all the big talks about Ghana beyond aid, about showing that we're more than capable of handling our own affairs, I'm sorry to say, is rubbish. Total rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. It is. This happened in 2017. We're now in 2022. We were made to believe that she had been deported. Then all of a sudden, yesterday, she appeared. So I don't know. I can't even say nicodemously because, well, not a lot of people knew about it. But thanks to the news, we've been able to find out. What is happening? Can somebody tell me exactly what is happening? What is going on here? To the point where this has become such a big, big issue that we're all talking about it. We're incapable of prosecuting a criminal. She's a criminal. And her accomplice. We're incapable of prosecuting them. Why? Because we fear what China might do, because we don't want it to hinder our agreement with China. I mean, in so does this mean? Hold on. I'm sorry if you think I'm rambling on a little bit here. It's just I find it crazy to try to, I'm trying to conceptualize exactly what is happening here. So does this mean that in the agreement between Ghana and the Chinese company, that if a Chinese individual commits an offense due to the relationship between Ghana and China, we have no right to prosecute such a person? I don't know, because clearly this is what the minister was alluding to. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll read more of your text messages and we'll carry on the conversation. Ghana. All right, we'll be back right after this.
Yo, Ghana for you, what English ya brochi maimuha? Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwadare wo emranimu a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer for entimi nuanom mumyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo fortwell solicitors emranimu akukudro for se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa ka won krata na se wedi edro nso a eyo mo kokokra eba ne nipa setena mu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudim akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu mpo ne se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday beyond so your Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
Okay, welcome back. Let me take a few of your messages, and then we'll bring the show to. And this is from Adra. Adra is saying, Jones, why do you sound so deflated? I think I had this message earlier, didn't I? From another person. Calm down, my brother. This is Ghana. As for Ghana, you carry on. If you get too invested in the issues of Ghana, you'll be doing yourself. Listen. I understand, and of course sometimes we can't help it because we're passionate about what we do, but some of the decisions by our leaders is just out of this world. For a whole minister to come up with such nonsense is just beyond recognition, and it's hard to grasp at times that these are the leaders. These are our leaders, which again reinforces that the notion of the so-called international system. Okay, the international system, where when I say international system, the global political structure, where you have the superpowers, and then you have the emerging powers, and then you have the weak and weaker, the ones at the periphery. And it just goes to show that it's very much active, really, really active. And probably, just off the top of my head, this prosecuting this woman does not go against Chinese's foreign policy. It doesn't, because the evidence is clear. All the evidence there. It's clear. This woman committed an offense. She's a criminal, and as such, the laws of the land should be applied. Should be applied. But here we are. They will come up with some ridiculous campaign that we're fighting against Galamsey. We're doing this against Galamsey. They're destroying our water bodies. The fight against Galamsey. But you have a criminal at your disposal. And what you do, you just dilly-dallying, you're just dancing around, beating about the bush, coming to us and, you know, throwing dust in our eyes and telling us that, hey, by the way, this woman has been deported. You know, you people wanting her to go to prison, what would it serve? Would it bring or add any money to your pockets? Let's not forget, you know, we are in business with Chinese companies. It is a Chinese company that is doing, I mean, this actually sounds, this sounds like pure corruption. And we have this, I can actually picture this, okay, as an I can. Who, you know, I don't even want to speak tree here, but you get my gist, right? You get the gist. That you know somebody has done you wrong, but the fact that they're the one, you don't want to bite off the hand that's feeding you. So because what they're doing is wrong, you encourage it, but not speaking about it. And this is what they've been doing. This is what they've been doing. And then when we keep, you know, talking about politics or politicians, individuals, you know, you get attacked that you don't like this particular party. It has nothing to do with my liking or disliking for a particular party. Okay. It's just, this is just out of this world. It is wrong on all levels. It is wrong. If we can't prosecute one person, then my goodness, only God knows where we're heading. Anyway, we're done for another day. Thank you very much for staying tuned. All the text messages I couldn't read, please accept my apologies. We'll be here tomorrow. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll finish at 11, so plenty of time to actually go through some of the stories. And I'm sure this particular story will carry on tomorrow. Already I can see people talking about it across social media. Everybody's shocked, flabbergasted, just confused at the whole situation. How we've been misled, we've been lied to, we've been deceived to thinking that this woman was deported. But here we are. She's not. She's in Ghana. And if she's in Ghana, how on earth is she not behind prison walls? Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.